Topanga was way out of Corey's league, and she settled for less by staying with him. Boy Meets World is the story of life seen through the eyes of Corey, Shawn, and Eric. They are the boys, but primarily Corey. Topanga comes off as perfect. That's how Corey sees her, so that's how we see her. But fuck all that. I understand he loves her, but let's not pretend like Topanga would not have found love elsewhere. So season 1, Corey hated on Topanga because she was a little bit different, with a perm, and she drew on her face with lipstick. Who hasn't? But other than their first kiss and the episode where they touched hands, it didn't go much further than that, and they still portrayed her as weird until it seems like overnight, season 3, and the show started acting like they were born in love since they were babies. They said that they had their first kiss at 11. Then they say they were 13 and met on a jungle gym. The nigga said girls got cooties. But that's bullshit. Because in the second season, he was dating girls that weren't Topanga. This motherfucker cheated on Topanga in season 5. You remember when everybody went on that ski trip and this dumb asshole fell off the bus, so he had to stay inside? Then he met some ski worker named Lauren, hussy. They stayed up the entire night talking. About what, nigga? What the fuck are you guys talking about all night? Wow. And the next day he's fine, but he pretends he's still injured so he can stay in the ski resort and talk with Laura some more. Yeah, this filthy bitch left a note in his bag, revealing her true feelings. The angel Topanga found it. But of course, her angelic self, she refused to read it because of privacy. In comes Angela's ass. I fucks with Angela. She opens up that shit and lets Topanga know that her boyfriend, Corey, and this ski slut were canoodling and tongue kissing, and Corey fucking lied to her about it and said that nothing went on. So Topanga, the angel she is, tells Corey that if he has feelings for the ski slut, then he should act upon them. So this dumb curly-headed fuck goes on a date with the ski whore. And how the fuck does she know his address? She showed up to his house. Do you know they were 3 out of 50 on the best TV couples list? Unbelievable. So anyways, this dumbass. So after the date, Corey and Shawn work out a way to find out who's better for him. The gorgeous Topanga or Lauren, the ski whore. In the end, he chooses Topanga. Duh. But guess what? She refused to take him back. Yeah, you goddamn right. Kick rocks, nigga. Look at this ski whore kissing Corey. Corey's mistake was listening to Shawn and not fessing up to Topanga when she asked. In season 4, there's a double episode called Long Walk to Pittsburgh, where Topanga has to share. Poor fucking Topanga, man. Topanga shares that her family will be moving to Pittsburgh. She waited until the last minute to tell Corey because she was so sad. And when she finally did, Corey refused to believe that she was leaving. But she ends up leaving. Corey's mom, Dukes, tries to convince him that there will be other bitches. But Topanga, one of the realest ones, runs away from her parents and Pittsburgh and goes back to Corey's house, and she's standing in the rain. So Topanga's parents agree that she can live with her aunt to be close to this curly-headed fuckboy. She was way too good for Corey, and way better looking than him for sure. She was smarter than him. He never applied himself. But what I do get is his charm when he was younger, how he could have won her over through his personality. Young Corey is sarcastic with a quick wit for someone his age. Little kid Corey, I miss that old Corey, straight from the go Corey. Like the Corey who was 11 years old, dealing with his water gun and getting out of doing school homework. I guess he was a boy who met the world and things got complicated. This new Corey, the one with the personality of celery, I fucking hate him. Corey was a cool little kid. The writers did a better job portraying Corey when he was younger, like a normal kid going through typical issues of home and school. He aged rather awkwardly for a lead character. I think that's why they gave Shawn a more compelling backstory and a better screen presence. Corey's my least favorite. And fuck Lauren. Season 2 to 4 was my favorite period. But his personality straight dipped all the way down. And as the show progresses, she becomes even more out of his league. Poor Topanga. I understand that she already invested all this time in the dork, and their long-term friendship made a more solid relationship since they had a lot of shared experiences. But nah, man, fuck that nigga. 7th and 8th grade, Topanga and Corey made sense for a middle school couple, because their circles are small, right? So it makes sense. But as they got older and split for the first time, I don't know, man. Like when they went to high school and college, Topanga and Corey made zero sense. Their social circles expanded and they grew in different directions. Corey clearly has a side to him that wants to fuck other bitches, but then becomes obsessed with his relationship with Topanga to the point of pity, while Topanga's character continued to grow in a logical way. They should have been more like friends. They would have been better off as friends. Because look at them. This continued relationship feels forced. How the fuck is he attracting all these bitches who are way out of his league? Now, I'm no doctor, but Corey most likely has ADHD. and is very immature. Come on, Topanga, you're in high school. Hey, you're way too young to only date one person. This dirtbag Corey has the nerve to question her positivity when his baby brother and his parents are in the hospital. Corey's a dick, even to Shawn. Remember the episode in season 5 when he steals his dad's alcohol to feel happy or cheer himself up while being broken up with the lovely Topanga? So yeah, he basically forced Shawn to drink. But Corey has a dad, and his dad said, "Stop drinking, you little shit." But guess who doesn't have a dad? Shawn, or a mom, because he's a fucking orphan. So he starts drinking booze, and basically Corey turned him into a goddamn alcoholic. Corey cheated on Topanga like 3 times, and Topanga forgave him all times. Not to mention, he would always make everything about himself. Their relationship revolved around him. Now, I get it, the show is Boy Meets World, Corey being the boy, so it makes sense for the TV show. But in real life, it would be a completely unhealthy relationship, and Topanga, the goddess, would deserve way better. Okay, maybe he didn't cheat on her 3 times. I remember the 1 time, but that's like 3 times. Considering it's fucking Topanga, she let Corey get away with way too many things. They also got married way too young, and Topanga should have went to Yale. No offense to Corey, you're not like ugly, but Topanga is out of your league, bruh. Especially in looks. She put up with all your bullshit when she doesn't need to. She had access to getting someone better due to being a 10. She was perfect. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. She should have fucking went to Yale. They were codependent, and she stayed out of comfort. He is all that she knew, and she was too scared to form a long-lasting relationship with other people, which, considering their dynamic, is clearly the healthier option, okay? This stupid motherfucker, he was barely as smart as Shawn. Corey was an idiot. He didn't even know how to play solitaire. But somehow he gets a fucking interview with Stanford. Look at these two, they're perfect for each other. And he's consistently and flagrantly disregarding and disrespecting his best friend in the last couple of seasons. I don't know how Shawn didn't beat this little nerd up. And to all the people out there saying my opinion doesn't matter, well, fuck you. And my opinion does matter. Sorry, I didn't mean that. The guy always sees problems as a joke, like his denial of reality at the pressure situations, like when Joshua was in the hospital or when Topanga went to Pittsburgh. You seriously cannot blame her for breaking up with him after reading the letter. His lying was so disrespectful, worse than the actual kiss itself. Once they got to college, Corey was annoying and stuck up. It was ridiculous. The episode with the 13-year-old artist was awful. Look at this asshole to the poor girl for no reason. Then he's gonna whine about being average. Topanga was extraordinary and Corey was mediocre. She chose mediocrity over an extraordinary life. Poor thing. That Corey lied to Topanga. He's painfully neurotic, narrow-minded, and selfish. Like, he's far from perfect in the earlier seasons, but as the show progresses, I couldn't stand him towards the end. He never fully becomes a mature adult. Season 2 to 4 was my favorite period, when it felt like Shawn was the main character and Corey was a friend trying to keep him on the right path. I'm not complaining or anything. He's overly neurotic and clingy, instead of the sarcastic class clown sports nut Corey from the early years. Like they tried to make him Eric, but it was horrifically forced. Topanga breaking up with Corey after the parents' divorce may have been unnecessary, but again, they were still super young, and she was probably very confused. This was probably a big moment in her life that changed her perspective of the world, going from an optimistic person and free-spirited to a more serious, realistic person, and a bit more pessimistic, which Corey points out to her later down the line. It's understandable for it to affect her the way it did. To call Topanga inconsiderate is reducing her to a few simple mistakes and neglecting all of her other great qualities and attributes. She's extremely kind, caring, and loving. And Corey cheated on her in some way or another many times. You never see Topanga getting attention from other guys, which I'm sure she did, but she didn't pay them no mind. Okay? Corey clearly doesn't have a good job since he's just a public school teacher. No shade, teachers out there.
The important thing is, I see in you the future of America.
You suck! That's enough, miss.
I think Topanga chose Corey to have someone she could always feel superior towards. I think they should have been a short-term couple. Corey wasn't all that committed, and Topanga was way too good for him. She was serious, he wasn't. They both spent too much time together. They didn't even know who they were, and didn't get a chance to figure things out before getting married. I sided with Amy and Alan. Realistically speaking, if they got married, they probably would have gotten a divorce a few years later. So, keep in mind, she could have gone to Harvard or Yale, but decided to go to a no-name, non-accredited school just to be with Corey. Topanga is a very beautiful woman. Shawn would have been the perfect match for her. They had so much chemistry on set. Topanga and Shawn should have hooked up on Boy Meets World. Corey is borderline abusive and manipulative of Topanga. He consistently freaks out on her for not putting out, when if it was really an issue in the relationship, it should have ended. He doesn't trust her and he cheats on her. There's nothing remarkable about him. Maybe he could have been the world's greatest ukulele player, or maybe I'm just despairing over the inevitable passage of time and loss of innocence as we get older. It's not even like Yale is that far. It's like 3 hours away. And there's at least 8 colleges anywhere from 10 minutes to 40 minutes away from Yale. In Connecticut alone. It's not like Corey couldn't have gone with her. Corey just couldn't deal with the change and moving outside of Philly. He freaked out about moving to NYC at the end. Ironically enough, Yale is closer to Philadelphia than Pittsburgh. Amy, Corey's mom's right. She knew her son is a dud, but in Girl Meets World, she still ends up as a lawyer, so good for her.